Hey everyone, we made it to episode 2. I'm very excited to be joined by Chalonda White. Wanted to introduce her real quick. Chalonda is a well-known beer blogger, beer podcaster from here in Chicago. And I actually got to know who Chalonda was it was back in August when a tweet from you came across my Twitter feed, and it said something along the lines of, hey, are there any breweries out there that would let me shadow their brew team for a day because you wanted to learn about brewing? I saw that and I was just like, we could do that.
Yes.
And then I forwarded it to our team and we made that happen.
Yes, you did. And I had an amazing time.
Yeah. So, but then shortly after that, it was maybe a month or so later. September 9th.
I remember that day.
Is where the topic that we're going to talk about today came about, and that is the hashtag #IamCraftBeer. So Chalonda, would you set up for us what is #IamCraftBeer and how it came about?
Well, long story short, #IamCraftBeer came about because I received a racist email telling me that I did not belong in beer, and they called me some explicatives that I would not use on the show. From that, Dr. J. Nicole, she created the hashtag.
From the Brewers Association.
Yeah, from the Brewers Association. She created the hashtag in support of me, I am craft beer. And from there, a movement was created. You've seen it shared around the world, not just in the United States, but around the world. And you had so many different people, you know, in support of the hashtag. And you saw men, women, black, white, gay, straight. It was just an amazing movement behind that.
Yeah, and I wanted to kind of refresh my memory on the sequence of events leading up to today. And so I Googled it, and it was amazing seeing every news source that I've ever heard of just come up and how deep it went in my Google search. I couldn't believe it, so that was awesome. So tell us, like, what started, what kind of sprang from this early on?
Well, you know what, a lot of positivity, a lot of love. You know, we received a lot of support in the I Am Craft Beer movement, and breweries have reached out and said, hey, we want to have conversations about diversity and inclusion. What can we do to make things better? And I think that's the most important conversation, because from I Am Craft Beer, we heard a lot of unfortunate stories of the darker side of this industry when it comes to people of color and you come to women in this industry, because there are still some, I would say, looked over, you know, and in an unfair way. So, but the conversations have gotten started.
Great. One of the things that stuck out with me from, I think, the day that it happened was how, you know, not how common it seemed to you, because it didn't seem like you expected this to blow up in any way. You seemed like this was another day at the office, which really stuck with me and made me want to see how us at Revolution, myself, how we could help.
Yeah, when you are a person of color, and especially a woman at that in this industry, it's a little hard for your voice to be heard. And I've been very lucky, you know, outside of this one incident, I've been very lucky, but then you come across a lot of other people who have even harsher stories to tell. And like, for instance, there was scenarios in which I set up, I can't name the brewery because I don't want to get sued as much as I want to, but there are situations where I've set up, try to help men of color to get employment in breweries, and they were intentionally overlooked, and they were more qualified candidates, you know. So we still have some struggles, and for us, unfortunately, it's like an everyday thing, and it shouldn't be a norm. It's like we're immune to it now, almost, you know, and that's the sad part about it.
Well, we're clearly like just at the beginning of the movement still. Yeah. It happened in September. It's got some momentum. Mm-hmm. What were some of the early wins that came about?
Well, for one, like you guys, you know, were amazing. You guys, you know, reached out from the Jonathan and Goose, which I was also surprised. They reached out and said, hey, let's hold this panel to have this discussion. Dr. J has also had a beer collab and panel discussions, and then we also urge other people to say, hey, you don't have to wait for Dr. J or Liz and I to hold a meetup. You know, do this on your own and just let us know when and where, and hopefully we can make it, but if not, we'll definitely shoot the information out. So we're just excited that people are really open to having a conversation about it.
Yeah, so there have been panel discussions that have come out of it. You've had the hashtag I Am Craft Beer worked on to beer labels, particularly some beer labels that had a fundraising aspect or a community aspect, behind the beer maybe. And then you've also done meetups.
Yes.
How have the meetups gone?
The meetups have been amazing. So the first one we had here in Chicago with Liz, she actually, kicked that one off. Helped me kick that one off.
This is Liz Garibay from
Garibay,
the Chicago
Brew
Museum.
Museum. Yes.
Great.
We had it at Metropolitan the first time. And we are actually, this Sunday, we have one coming up in Milwaukee.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to drive up there
great.
to Milwaukee and have one. And then in April, I'm driving down to St. Louis. They're going to have one at Second Chef Brewing. And they had one in Kansas City that I wasn't able to make it to. So they're popping up all over the place now. And I'm excited for that.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to post those dates when we post this episode.
Of
so
course.
We'll help you get the word out there for sure. So that's great. That's a lot coming up. So I want to ask you, what's the big dream for this? What's the home run that this if everything breaks your way and you get the support you need? What do you dream could come of this, well beyond of where we're at in this first year of it?
Honestly, to be honest with you, as simple as it is, to keep the conversation going, because I'm a big advocate of this becoming an actual reality and not just a trend on social media. We all know with social media trends, they die out after a certain amount of time. And my only hope for this whole movement is that it keeps going, the conversation keeps going. I'm not looking for it to monetize anything. I'm not looking for it to, to do anything, I don't know how to put it. I just wanted the conversation to keep going. I want people to know that this is still a movement and it's still real and the conversations still need to be had.
Because one of the things when I was brainstorming of what could make a big impact is not to put the Brewers Association on notice or anything, but I was thinking back to, remember when they did that big campaign that was on, the fans buying Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah.
And they did all that social media behind it. And they do that from time to time and get people talking about craft beer, which is great for the industry. I loved it. I loved the things they did before that. And could something like that be done around I Am Craft Beer, where it becomes part of the Brewers Association messaging that they're pushing out to both members and fans?
It most definitely could, because it's such a positive movement. Like, for instance, even I know whenever I post anything concerning I Am Craft Beer, someone from Italy always sending me a copy of a story that they reposted in Italy. So it's going worldwide. So it definitely has that potential.
So cool. Love it. So do you think, you've got full-time job, you've got kids, you've got your social media presence, which you love, which again is afro.beer.chick on Twitter, Instagram, what else?
Facebook, website.
That's the website, so we'll share those with everybody. But and then you've got this movement. Is it tough to balance all of those and prioritize them? Because you're passionate about all of them and they're all extremely important.
Well, the beauty about that is, so my oldest, she's already at the house. She's in the Air Force, so she's already an adult. The youngest, she's in high school, and she's really good about understanding, like, hey, mom has these events, and it's easier because she's older. And then Nick, he does his own beer thing. So, and work is pretty easy, so I can do a lot of what I need to do. So I'm finding it a lot easier to balance. And it's so funny because a lot of my coworkers, some of them, so I take it back, some of my coworkers are very supportive in what I do, so they make it easy for me at work. So, if I have to leave work early and head out to an event or whatever, I found it pretty easy to balance. I mean, I do have 6 social media accounts. I think that's the hardest. I have 6 social media accounts that I have to balance. That's the hardest part for me.
I hear you. Well, do you think there's any chance that this could truly become a calling that could work its way into your career somehow?
Well, I work in IT, so technically I'm already kind of there. But at this point, if this doesn't make me a social media director, I don't know what. I mean, between the IGs, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, I mean, I love talking about, diversity and inclusion and what we can do to make, to take the next step. So I'm always down for a career change.
That's great. That's how I ended up at a brewery. I started talking about beer on Instagram, and I did it every day. And I wanted to get into beer right then and there. And it took 3 years of doing that and not quitting. And so it tends to happen sometimes when you're least expecting it to. But I think if you keep doing what you're doing and keeping it positive like you do, something good's going to come out of it. So social media for a brewery would be kind of a dream start in the industry for you?
It would be. I mean, I'm already on there, and I talk to breweries throughout the day anyway. I mean, aside from my witty content, why not?
Wow. That's awesome. Well, what I wanted to kind of finish with is letting everybody watching this, some people watching this know you already. Some people are meeting you for the first time. But whether it's someone who works at a brewery watching, or someone who's just a fan of beer, or anyone else involved in the industry, what are some things, small or big, that they could do to help keep this movement not just alive, but take it to the next level?
Be willing to host panels. Be willing to host. My biggest thing now is my next step. What I want to work on is I am craft beer. For instance, we have over now 50 Black-owned breweries in the United States, and I would love to see a lot of collaborations with the other breweries, with these minority-owned breweries, to bring them into the fold, into communities that they're often overlooked in.
Help them grow
so
their audience.
I would love to see. That's my next passion, is to see more collaborations, because even here in Illinois, we have collaborations all the time with the more popular breweries, and we're getting ready to have another Black-owned brewery. We actually have two. We have Inglewood that's opening up, and then Black Horizon is now open out in Willowbrook, which has amazing beer. So a lot of people may not get out to the burbs, but I would love to see a collaboration with them to bring those city folks into the fold and be introduced to that brewery as well.
Okay. So if somebody watching this wanted to get involved but maybe didn't know where to start, could they reach out to you through social media, and maybe you could help connect them to the right people?
Most definitely.
Awesome. Well, Chalonda,
yes.
I think it's that time.
It's that time. Okay.
Are you ready to play Time Crunch?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do this.
I dropped my cards, so let's see where. Oh, here it is. Cool. All right, so the quick rules of Time Crunch: no follow-up questions. If you need me to repeat a question, I can.
Okay.
You're welcome to pass. If you just can't think of an answer and you want to move on to the next, you can say pass, but you won't get a point for that one.
Okay.
The current score to beat is 11 answers in 2 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
Let's do this.
You ready?
Let's go.
Okay, so the clock will start when I finish the first question. What is your favorite barrel program outside of Chicagoland?
Outside of Chicagoland, I'm going to say Side Project.
Which beer festival will never get old for you?
Fresh Fest.
What will be the #1 social media platform in 3 years?
Twitter.
Who is your dream guest for your podcast?
Garrett Oliver.
What brewery is killing the milkshake IPA game the most right now?
I pass.
Fill in the blank. Craft beer needs more.
Women.
What's the appropriate amount of Instagram posts that a brewery should make in a week?
12.
Name one of your favorite Instagram follows.
Black Beer Traveler.
Name a beer that you can't believe you've never tried.
Curvature until now.
Favorite non-beer podcast.
What Black Women Read.
Who do you pull inspiration from within the beer industry?
Dr. J.
Name an unsung hero of the I Am Craft Beer movement.
Again, can I say Dr. J?
Sure. Is she unsung?
I mean, well, yeah. Okay, hold on. I asked that.
No, you're good. What skill do you want to develop to get yourself to the next level?
Speaking skills.
Favorite adjunct in a stout?
Coconut.
Name a beer style you want to get into but haven't yet.
Porters.
Something you're looking forward to in 2020.
Let's boobs and beer on Instagram.
Excellent. Favorite brewery logo in the U.S.?
Three Floyds has a kick one.
What macro beer am I most likely to see you drinking?
None.
Best beer bar in the city?
Sheffield's.
Most underrated year-round beer?
Has.
All right, we're out of time.
How many did I get?
All right, Chalonda, I'm gonna have to go back
Okay.
and add them up in
Okay.
the editing room. But,
Okay.
we'll post your score, and I do believe you're the new leader for sure. So,
Yay!
Chalonda, thank you so much for coming on and
Thank you
talking
for
about I
having
Am Craft
me.
Beer. It was an honor.
Oh, it was
I
a
really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Do you want to tell everybody again where they can find you and follow you?
Sure, on all the social medias at AfroBeerChick. I made it easy.
True. All right. Well, thanks a lot. Do all best. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Let us know what you think. Cool.
That was fun.